All right, so again, make sure you do these on your own first, kind of like with the other, the ancient bases, that one. If you do it yourself first and you miss every question, then you're like, oh my gosh, that's a wake-up call. I need to figure this out. When you watch me do it, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I know the methods. But then like when I grade it and then I'm like, oh wow, the score is a lot different. You probably would get better on the graded if you took this part and really did it and then watched the video. And then figured out what you did wrong or what you didn't understand and then move forward. So again, that's the goal of all these. Okay, traditional algorithm is where you just kind of that whole like, you get 17, you put a 7 in, that whole carry idea. Again, we don't really use that anymore. So that's kind of a thing of the past. So then again, 18, 19, and again, carry the one. And then again, this kind of thing, which some people just put a 10 there. They don't even really regroup. So that's kind of up to you there. All right. So that's more the traditional algorithm where you just get 17, you carry the 1, you get 19, you carry the 1, and then you get your 10 or 0, carry the 1, however. All right. So we don't really teach that too much anymore. Partial sums is the most popular. So 499 plus 598. And I'm going to draw the little LE thing to the side. All right, so most kids will go like the 400 plus 500. They might start with the ones, you don't know. And then 90 plus 90, and then 9 plus 8. So that's 900 when I add the 400 and the 500. And again, they don't view it as a 5 and a 4. They view it as 400 and 500 because that's what those numbers really are. And then 90 plus 90 is 180. And then 9 and 8 is 17. And then sometimes they'll just add down. Most of the time, if there's numbers are easy, they'll just add down. If they're not as easy, they might combine 2 of them and then add in the other one. That just kind of agrees. Depends on the student. All right. Decomposition is the same as breaking a number. And again, we don't just let it decompose or break it for no reason. Our whole goal in doing this is to make a much friendlier number. So if the math doesn't get easier when you break it, then you're probably not breaking it in a really efficient way. So I like the number 500. I think it's a great number. So I'm just going to break 1 off from the 598 and call it 597. And then I am going to group these together to get 500. So then I just know that's going to be what? 1,097s. Because I know 500 and 500 make 1,000 and then the 97. Or the other way you could break that is if you have 499 plus 598. Oops. Oh boy. Let me rewrite that. Sorry, 598. Not pretty there. Sorry about that. 499 and 598. Some of you might be like, well, I really like 600. Well, that's fine. You could break off 2 from your 499, and that's going to give you what? 497. And then you can combine your 2 with the 598, which is 600, and you can still get 1,097. Okay? So it kind of depends on. Some people might want to break it a little bit more. Okay? So if you have 499 plus 598, okay? Some people might be like, well, I'm going to break the 490, or I'm going to leave the 499 and break, what do we do? 1 and what? 597. Okay, and then they might, like some kids might break that into a 500 and a 97 again, and so that they can see the 1,000 there. It just depends on how much mental math they can do, and so then they maybe, if they need to line up like 500 and 597 to add, or if they need to line up 600 and 497 to add, then they might break it even further just to make that mental math, okay? But usually I would probably just break off 1 and make it 500 and 597 and make your 1,097. So again, don't break for the reason of breaking. If it's not useful or friendly, don't do it. You got to do it in a way that's friendly. All right, rounding with compensation is not the same as breaking. Like you're actually going to change the number. Okay, so if I have 499 plus 598, I might decide to round the 598 to what? 600? And then add my 499, and so that's 1099. Now, did I add too much or not enough? I made the 598 what? Bigger, so my answer's too big. So I'm going to have to what? Subtract 2 off to get back to what my number really should be. Because I added bigger numbers than I should have. 499 is okay, but 600 is bigger than what it used to be. So when I add, my sum is too big. I got to subtract 2 to compensate for that. I could round the 500, so I could do 499 to 500 plus 598. get 1098. And again, my sum is too big because I made the 499 500 when it really isn't supposed to be. So subtract 1 and get 1097. If you round both, you have 500 and 600, which is 1100. Now, when you add both, sometimes it's confusing on how to compensate, especially if one rounds up and the other down, then you got to think a little bit. We rounded these both up, so our sum is too high. And it's too high by what? 1, 2, and 3. We added 2 to one and 3 to the other. So it's too high by 3. So you're going to subtract 3, which is 197. Now again, if you can't subtract 3 without ungrouping, then that's not how you want to round. Because if you have to, ungroup and give a 9 and ungroup, then it's not good. You need to just do round 1 and not both. Okay, because rounding both. And again, sometimes students add on to get this. So even though they subtract 3, they're like, oh, what number can I add 3 to? It'd be a 97 to get the 100 and the 1,000. So they might use 2 strategies, like round with compensation for part and then add on to fix the compensation part. All right, finally, the last one, base 10 block, are baggies. So 499, I'm going to draw 4 flats, and I'm just drawing horizontally here. 4 flats, 9 longs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I did 5 longs together and 4 underneath, just to kind of make it easy to see the 5 and the 4. So there's my 9. And singles, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 10 singles. Now I'm going to line these up. So underneath that, I have 598. So I'm going to line up my place value. So I'm going to draw 5 flats underneath my other ones. I'm going to draw 9 longs. So again, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 longs, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's easy to count. And then I have 8 singles. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles, and then 3 more, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 singles. I just group things by 5 to make life easy. Okay, so to add in this method, the picture does it all. You don't do anything other than the numbers tell you what to draw. You don't look at the numbers again till the end. So I am going to take, oops, I accidentally drew 10 singles. I don't know why. Sorry. On the 499, draw 4 flats, 9 longs, and 9 singles. I got carried away with my drawing of singles there. So 4 flats, 9 longs, 9 singles on the top, 5 flats, 9 longs, 8 singles on the bottom. All right, so now what a kid would do is they're just going to combine. So I'm going to take my 5 singles with my other 5 singles and group those in a circle. And I'm going to draw an arrow, and I'm just going to say the word regroup on that. And I'm going to draw a new long, and I'm going to make it kind of dark and write the word new by it, okay? So that it's obvious that that's coming from those 10 singles being regrouped. All right, now I'm going to group my longs. And again, right now, actually, I have 5 on the top row, I have 4, and my new one that I just drew is kind of in the area. So I think I'm just going to circle all of those 10. Again, I'm going to draw an arrow to my flats. I'm going to put regroup, and I'm going to draw a new flat, and I'm going to make it darker with my pen just a little bit. I'm going to label it new. Okay. And then I'm going to count my flats. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 flats. So again, I'm going to draw a circle around those because you can't have 10 in base 10. Regroup, write the word, I'm going to do it down here where I have more space. So I'm going to write the word regroup. And then I'm going to draw a new cube. So I need to draw a 3-dimensional cube here that's bigger, like I made a cube out of those. So this is my new cube. All right, so then I'm going to write down what I have right now. I have 1 cube. I have 0 flats because I used all my flats. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 longs. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 singles. All right, and then as a kid, if I have 1 cube, 0 flats, 9 longs, and 7 singles, I know that's the number 1, 0, 9, 7. And so that's how I get the answer using, base 10 blocks. Okay, we're going to work more on this tomorrow with subtraction, but make sure you understand this really well, and then we'll move on to subtraction. And again, let me see. Those are kind of the top ones, and these are the bottom. And again, the big idea here is that, kids are going to do what they're going to do, but we want them to be efficient in choosing their strategy eventually. But again, all kids need to know partial sums. That's not, everybody needs to know how to do that. And then these other ideas are going to kind of break off of that. All right. Have a great day.